All right, PKN 166. Kyle was just telling us about his wisdom tooth coming out. So
Yeah.
it's actually pretty. It was yesterday, you say?
Yeah, yesterday afternoon. So, like 20, just over 24 hours ago now.
You look good, by the way. Like I was expecting some swelling. I can hardly tell.
No swelling. I iced it all night long. Like I put my head on a ice pack like it was a pillow. So yeah, it's my wisdom tooth on the bottom, all the way in the back, and it was really fucking hurting. And the top of it had ruptured like a year ago or something, and it was just gross. And
Good old
and
Georgia Dental Care.
yeah, just didn't
At
care.
least you didn't
Yeah.
just sit on it.
So the
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
started in 2014.
It really did. Yeah. It's been going on.
I
for
thought
a
maybe
long
it'll
time.
go away. You know?
I was hoping that it would just rot away.
Yeah, because that's what wisdom teeth do, right?
As they do. I honestly wasn't aware that it was a wisdom tooth. Like I didn't know that it was a wisdom tooth. I just thought it was my back molar.
I was hoping it would just rot away. I don't wipe my ass. I just wait for the skin to slough off, you know, as it does. Why take care of something like that?
I really
that's funny.
dislike going to the dentist, and I knew that this was not like a get a filling put in kind of thing. This was going to be a full tooth removal. So basically, I was waiting until the point of no return, until it started hurting.
Oh, that's good
And,
because that makes it worse.
I don't know that it does. You know,
That's the thing. No, I did not make that up. It's
It
worse.
made
It's
it
called
much
it's called impacted, and it's not what you want.
I didn't
Woody
have
and I are going to
that.
be Captain Hindsight.
Right?
Impacted actually is when it goes sideways. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't
know.
have. It was still straight up and down. I looked at the X-ray and it was like, oh shit, the top of the tooth is just missing there. So, but what happened was it started hurting really fucking bad, and I was just living on like benzocaine, you know, rubbing that painkiller on it like constantly to try to go to sleep at night. And I'd wake up and it was just in a lot of pain. And that was Friday. And I
How
was
long did the benzocaine do you for until it was like, all right, this is too long. This is too
It
much.
honestly was just like it didn't even stop the pain. It just made the pain a little bit more bearable, but it was still really hard to go to sleep.
I mean, like how many weeks or like months
Oh.
or days or whatever for the benzocaine
Days.
before you were like, fuck this, I can't.
like 3
days.
days of like I don't know if you noticed on the last PKA, I was putting some on it. So like
I-
maybe 3 days of doing that, and I was like, oh, this is not gonna work. I need a dentist, a professional to come in. So on Friday, I was like, I made the call. So of course I've got to wait through the entire
don't you
weekend.
do you go to the dentist regularly? Is he not like getting you X-rays every year?
No,
and
I don't.
checking?
I don't go to the dentist. No, I don't do that. So I just try to brush well. Most of them are in good condition. It was just that one back there had really gone to pot, and so I went Monday, yesterday. Man, I'm fucked up. Those painkillers. I went yesterday, and he's like, "Oh yeah, oh okay, yeah. Well, let's pop that right out. That's a surgical removal." He's like, you know, I look at the thing. It's like $300 to get it out. I'm like, oh, this is great. I thought I was
Wow.
gonna have a root canal. You know, I thought this was gonna be a $2,000 trip. $300 trip sounds like no big deal at all. So, you know, they put some benzocaine of their own on there, numb it up, and then they give me a couple of shots, and we wait 10 minutes, and I can feel the injected Novocaine, I would imagine, start working, and the whole side of my head goes numb. It's wonderful. And he comes in, he's like, is that starting to work? I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, definitely so. He was prying, like you're gonna feel a little push and pull now, push and pull, and he gets in there and it's just like yank, 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 pop, and it's out. It took less than a minute. I would
Wow.
guesstimate 40 seconds of him like prying and pushing. And
Did he like have his hand on your forehead or anything like to pull hard, or was it like you
Nope.
couldn't even tell?
So
I've never
nope.
had a tooth pulled, so I don't know how they do it.
no big deal.
How
Like
were you just face numb for the like? So you were kind of conscious during the thing.
oh, 100%.
and then you
conscious.
walked to the car. I assume someone drove you.
No. It was 100% like local anesthetic. So he just numbed. You know, he put a couple of shots of numbing agent, Novocaine, I think it is, into the gum, and then he just pried the tooth out of my head, and I was like, I want to keep that, and so here it is. all fucked up and disgusting. Like,
Can you hold it a little further away?
Can you hold that
Yeah,
little?
Yeah,
It was
I'm
kind of too close. Nice. Hold it like this. Taylor, you're breaking up. Nice. Well, there it is in all its glory. You're probably working
Wow.
now, Taylor. Yeah, you're good.
yeah,
I don't know
That
if
is so much worse than I thought it would be. That most of that tooth is gone.
yeah. The top is gone. Yeah. The top
why
of the tooth
why is
gone.
the top gone?
It's just like rotting top down, I would think.
Yeah.
But why are your teeth rotting out of your head?
Well, it got a cavity.
This is
in it.
the question.
Oh, it got a cavity in it.
Yeah,
So wait, is that a wisdom tooth or just a molar?
a wisdom tooth.
You must have been very fortunate with like non-problem wisdom teeth or something. 'Cause, like if it
Yeah.
hadn't had a cavity, you might have just been wiser. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I have the rest of my wisdom teeth. They're all good. They all fit. No issues or anything. But yeah, it got a cavity in it, and then it broke off like at some point. Like and more of it broke off, and I drink nothing but soda. So
So were you
there's-
just like spitting out bits of tooth intermittently, or
Not
swallowing them? I guess.
occasionally there'd be a bit of tooth, here and there.
This-
Dude, these are things that would freak me the fuck. If I have a bit of tooth comes out of my mouth, it's not a. This is a problem for 2019. It's we go today. Like,
Do they have nighttime dentists?
yeah, exactly. They have urgent care dental. That's where I'd be going. Hey, excuse me, ma'am. Don't close up. My teeth are falling out of my head. I need assistance.
Yeah, so people, a lot of our audience is maybe at the age where wisdom teeth are becoming a thing. Get your cleaning. They'll take x-rays and they will tell you if your wisdom teeth are going to be a problem or not. Sometimes they're growing sideways. Sometimes they're just in the wrong spot. And they'll be like, yep, you got to have 4 out, 3 out. You might even only have 3 or 2. And they'll tell you what's what. That's the right way to do it. Having said that, I don't know if I had my wisdom teeth out in like the Stone Ages and it's just better now because it was the 90s, or if I had a bigger problem because I was like fully out on the way to the car. You know those you see like whatever the 20-some-year-old under heavy anesthesia,
Yes.
whatever, and they're saying stupid stuff. They're talking to their mom about their desires for big black dildos or whatever. Like that was me. I was walking to the car, and I didn't say anything really embarrassing, but I was just in the grass, like negotiating for more time. Like, I don't want to go to the car. I like the grass. Just give me 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. I want 10, And then, and Jackie took me home, and she was like, all right, sit here in the grass, I guess, like I want to get you back into bed. But so, yeah, Kyle's experience was like, shit, I think I had my teeth whitened last year, and it sounds like the same level of trauma,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there was really nothing to this. I got an X-ray to make to see what was going on, and in the X-ray, you could tell that like there's plenty of room for this tooth. Like it, it wasn't weird or sideways. It was indistinguishable to the non-dentite from a regular molar. It just sort of seemed to be symmetrical and in line with the rest of them, except the top of it was fucking missing, like 3/4 of the top of it, and it's all black too. It's super gross.
I wonder if there's something about it that made it susceptible to the problems you had.
Smell it.
Like, is it extra hard to brush? Maybe. Like,
Yeah, definitely so. It's way back. That's honestly, I think that's what it was. That's no excuse for an adult, really. But really, what happened was, it got a cavity in it, and the cavity got worse. And I drink nothing but soda, and it just kept getting worse. Last time I went to the dentist was, like 3 years ago or something like that, when I got my last root canal or something like that. And the root canal was so painless that I was like, why worry with cavities until they're all the way crazy? Just drill them to the bone, like that's the way to deal with cavities. So man,
I
this
see.
coating.
So just
Yeah.
put it on. Oh wait, yeah.
Shitty
I wanna
life
know how
pro
you're doing
tips.
with your with the pain. Like, was there a point where you were in severe pain afterward?
I wouldn't say severe. Like I've definitely been in worse pain before, like with burns and stuff, and that sort of thing. But yesterday, whenever the numbing agent wore off, actually, so I drove home from the dentist and I was starving, and I knew that pretty soon my mouth was going to be really tender. So I went to McDonald's and got myself a 10-piece buttermilk tenders and a couple large order of fries and a sweet tea. And I got home and I ate that. I killed it. I chewed with the left side of my mouth, so it wouldn't be an issue. But whenever the numbing agent wore off,
they do. They tell you to eat within an hour of the procedure.
I don't
They
think so.
don't.
There's going to be a lot of blood, and you're going to want to consume as much of that as possible as you sloppily eat your fries.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood. I kept gauze back there for like the first 16 or 18 hours to like soak up the blood. There was a ton of blood. Like I had all these blood-soaked clumps of gauze in my room that looked like I'd been shot or something. But yeah, they prescribed whenever the numbing agent wore off. I started taking my pain medicine, which isn't anything crazy. It's Tylenol 3, which is Tylenol and codeine. It's really got me
In a
fucked
good mood.
up.
Yeah.
Wow, just real fucked up. And last night especially, because like I think I took 2 of them at like 1 a.m. because the pain started getting bad, and then I woke up at like 5 a.m. and I took 2 more, and then at like 6 a.m. I'm on Skype texting, writing to Chiz because he knows a bit about narcotics. I'm like, oh, I'm really itchy. And I'm really high.
But my tooth does not hurt.
Not even a little bit. No pain from the tooth. But that's the only thing about like opiates is they make you itchy, and I hate that. But it's just been weirdly enough, just my left hand gets itchy, like so itchy. I scratch it until it's sort of like inflamed almost. I'm like, I gotta ice my hand now. But all I ate yesterday was that McDonald's, and then like in the evening it started hurting more, so I went to Wendy's and I literally got 3 Frosties, and I ate 3 large Frosties. They're just back to back.
That's actually probably the smart move, right? That's way smarter than fries and a buttermilk biscuit sandwich an hour after they pull the tooth out of your head.
With that signature sauce McDonald's has. Oh, that's good stuff. Forget the Szechuan sauce. Signature sauce. That's the way to go. But yeah, 3 of those Frosties, I feel like that helped with some of the inflammation as well. And yeah, I'm feeling great.
So how long are you on? Like, how long do they put you on medicine for pain?
I've got I think 20 pills of the Tylenol 3 or something like that. And it says to take 1 at a time, but honestly, 1 just doesn't do anything.
That's for pussies, right?
Yeah, 1 just really doesn't do anything. I don't even notice it, so I take 2 at a time. And so I've got enough of that for like, it's the pain's almost gone at this point. When I woke up this morning, it was like, this is super manageable pain. But still, if gonna take all my medicine, I'm not gonna leave some in the bottle.
I did. Is codeine the addictive one?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I like it. I think I've had what Kyle has, and it's not all pleasure for me. I think I
don't like those things either. Just make me itchy. But if I had a pain in my tooth, then I would rather deal with itchiness than a wound in my mouth.
The codeine is the only painkiller I've ever really had any significant amount of. Like back when I had that, I had strep throat and pneumonia and like a bunch of respiratory stuff going on that time, and then I had to go to the desert to film. I told the doctor, I was like, look, we got to get me in go mode. Like we can't pussyfoot around here. I was like, I want a shot. And I want strong stuff. I was like, I have to be working all week. There's no recuperation here. Like prop me up like I'm in the war here.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He gave me a shot in the ass, and he gave me a bottle of that codeine cough syrup. And I could see how like one could become addicted to that as a drug. Like it's this bottle, and it was like an old timey World War II bottle, like a big fucking plastic bottle of cough syrup. And I think that's what Lil Wayne's always rapping about when he's talking about scissor. Like, it tastes like candy. It was so sweet and delicious and wonderful. And as it went down, you could feel it start numbing everything it touched. Like just from the contact, it did that. And then when it got in your system, it was sort of a euphoric high, kind of like what I'm feeling now from this codeine, which is pretty excellent. It's pretty good stuff.
Sounds like.
I just get a throbbing, low grade, sort of sick, unhappy thing with codeine. Like I don't think I like it. But I did have it after my wisdom teeth. I've told this story 15 times, and I did get kind of addicted to it. If I had a source like a celebrity does, I can see how they go down that road.
Yeah.
If you had a Candyman,
Yeah. But I was just a regular person, and I ran out and I ran out.
you know what you need. The Candyman can. Buying it in a paper bag on the street corner. I have to go pick up my daughter from dance recital. I can have a couple spoonfuls of this. Tide me through. Yeah. But also pay attention to the celebrities who get addicted to that, Kyle, or who sing about it or rap about it all the time. The rapists like Lil Wayne. You can see even I haven't watched a lot of Lil Wayne interviews, but he doesn't seem to be very lucid.
No.
Like not at all. And
he's always having
his
seizures.
throat sounds like he really genuinely needs some codeine.
Well, they
sometimes.
call him Wheezy, right? You know, like for a reason. He's always sounded that way. But he's always having seizures and having to be rushed to the emergency room with like low heart rates and stuff. And like I was reading the warnings on my stuff, and it's like death. Like some of the side effects are like heart stopping. And I was like, what's the difference between death and my heart stopping? That sounds like the same fucking thing, just a different way of going about it. Like respiratory failure. Like that's the same thing as death. Like, they're all bad.
Legally, we have to put all the ways you could die.
Yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, I think this is I'm gonna be all good by tomorrow. I got a regimen of amoxicillin, antibiotics to make sure that nothing horrible happens and this doesn't get infected. But that was a really easy. I like my dentist. I don't see him very often, but when I do, I know he's gonna take care of business and not pussyfoot around, because that root canal. I always hear about people talking about root canals like, oh, they make it sound like it's I don't know, like getting a vasectomy or something, and it's gonna be this torturous experience. But I didn't feel shit.
I've heard a vasectomy is not that bad. One of my friends from hockey had it. He only missed one game, and he said he actually kind of liked it because he was completely free of any like he had it done on like a Thursday or something. He takes Friday off work, and all weekend he was just like a king who had taken one for the team, and his wife is just bringing him food. He's watching football on the couch. He's like, it really wasn't such a bad weekend. So,
man, well, seems like, wow, what's his normal life like?
Right? Because I'm thinking, as I'm telling the story, I'm like, that's not too far from my day to day. He'd like me,
I was just thinking, like, he was willing, like he got his balls
to neuter
snipped.
himself. Yeah,
he got his balls snipped, and he was like, it was really nice. I got to, on my weekend, my days off after working all week, I was allowed to sit and enjoy a game, and my wife brought me a snack, and I was like, what the fuck is his normal life like? Like it kind of, isn't that what everybody's?
It's a little telling,
like?
isn't it? Yeah.
It's like your wife doesn't usually do those things. You had to go get basically castrated in order for her to bring you a sandwich and let you watch the Ravens game or whatever the hell. Like, Jesus Christ, what a sad. And you think that you think that appreciation's gonna last? You think next weekend when you go, hey, I permanently altered my body for the sake of this family, can I get a sandwich? You think she's gonna go back to it? No. You're gonna have to get a reverse vasectomy and then get another vasectomy like Michael Scott. Do you know the stress that 3 vasectomies has on a man?
That show is really good. I need to watch it again.
That's one of the good ones. Yeah, that does suck. Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't say that, Woody. Being like, yeah, that's my Tuesday, and that was today.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, I think Jackie's gonna bring me some snacks. Maybe go pick up a movie from a Red Box if I want it.
Speaking of snacks.
Ritz Bits.
I'm a big fan of the Ritz Bits. They're little miniature cheese sandwiches.
Kyle, I'm a big fan of everything you get to eat. It's fucking ridiculous.
And because of this minor surgery, I bet you lost like another couple pounds, maybe. And so that means you're going to get to go into super feast mode as soon as this ends.
I haven't stopped. I've added breakfast in. Kitty, like British people, I think. I don't know. I'm so high, I can't make sense of anything.
She cannot pass judgment on your oral health problem.
No, she's had to get all her shit replaced.
Yeah.
So but like she eats like toast and jam for breakfast every morning. Like that's something she really likes. And I was always like, I can't even eat breakfast. And then the other day I was like, let me try some of that jam you've got. And she's got this Wilkins and Sons jam, this strawberry jam, and it's like heaven. It's the most delicious shit I've ever put in my mouth. It's so fucking good. So now every morning I wake up and I go get like a big spoonful of that jam and put it on toast. But what I do is I take a spoonful of the jam and I put it in a bowl, and then a dollop of butter, and I microwave it until it's one consistent like strawberry butter mixture.
Do you add any sugar to the jelly?
No, you don't need to.
And he adds only the finest jelly beans into it. Then you gently lay a fruit roll up on top, and then you have a fine lasagna.
A couple of gushers on each corner.
And then some frosting, and it's good. Go ahead, Kyle. Tell your story.
It's so fucking good. It's I think it's $12 for a jar of this jam. It's this fancy British jam. And so, like, I felt so guilty after eating a jar of her jam. I had to replace it this week, and that's how I found out how goddamn expensive it was. So I got myself some more of that jam. But yeah, just gaining no weight, just killing it. I got all those Doritos this week, which you made fun of, those sweet chili lime Doritos. Oh, they're so good.
Man, so like sometimes you think of your friends and whatnot, you compare lives, and Kyle's life comes with its own stresses. I don't know that I'd want to straight up trade. I'm really happy where I am. My life is good for me. But man, I'd trade metabolisms. That sounds lovely.
Yeah. I would do that. Maybe it probably wouldn't even be, or I was going to say it wouldn't be metabolisms, it would be appetite maybe, but I don't know. It would need to be like a real case study of keeping all of us in a room monitoring our food requirement. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the show Super Size versus Super Skinny. It's a British show that pretends to be about caring for health, but it's really about ogling and staring at fat
I think Boogie was
people.
on an episode. I've seen one.
Oh, yeah. Then I haven't seen his episode, but basically what it is they'll take a big fucking fat person and then a teeny little person who doesn't eat like anything, and then they have so they pair them up like female, male, and they have a big cylindrical tube that they have, one next to each person at the very beginning. And the whole time, both individuals are in their underwear. So women are in their, panties and bra, men are in their boxers or whatever. And so you get to see the whole thing. And without fail, for the men, the skinny guys, it's like, oh, that's not good too, but that's still better than that big fat giant 500-pound guy.
Right.
But for the women, like you look at the big fat ones, you're like, oh wow, man, that's really sad. And then you look at the skinny ones, and it's like, well, she may be a little thin, but I think that's fair play to her, like looking pretty good. Yeah. And then they'll show they'll dump a full week's food in there to show what they eat. So they'll be like, here's your breakfast for the week, and it'll be like 2 pieces of toast for the skinny person, and then like a sandwich every other day, and then like a little bit of milk or something. And then they do the fat person's, and this fucking cylindrical tube as big around as my noggin just starts getting, and here's your breakfast, 6 boxes of family-sized total. Then it's just fucking filling this thing up, 4 gallons of milk, and it's just fucking so much. 4 British hams, 1 American one, yeah. And by the end, it's like, you can tell that there's so much more shame on the fat side, because the skinny bitch's one is like up to her knee of all the food she ate for the week. By the end, the fat chick's like standing on her tippy toes, so the thing's not getting taller than her, showing that she's eating a tube the size. Like it's a very motivating show if you are that fat or that skinny, I guess. But mostly it's just another one of those shows where it's gawking at odd people, pretending that you're doing it out of empathy, but really you're doing it the same way people did in like the World's Fair in 1904.
It almost sounds like science, though. There's a certain amount of testing and debunking going on there. I don't know.
Wait, the tube makes it seem like science, but it is a tube of junk food. So.
Here are our beakers. No, that's a science word. We have chemistry written on a blackboard in the back.
They're graduated cylinders, but anyway.
Yeah. But he graduated. Thank you. But the even less scientific than the graduated cylinder thing is they make the people eat the meal that the other person would. So they make them sit across from the table from each other, and they'll be like, all right, and Betsy, you're eating Aaron's meal today for breakfast. And it's just 1/2 of a piece of toast with no butter. And then they'll be like, Aaron, you're eating Betsy's. And it'll be 4 plates of beans and hash and sausage and mashed potatoes for breakfast and a bowl of cereal and orange juice and milk and soda or something like that. And it always ends with the interview afterward with the big fat person be like, I don't see how they can eat like this. It can't be healthy for you to eat like this.
The fat person says that.
Yeah, they always say that. You got no vitamins, you know, by like meal 3.
No
vitamins.
Fucking,
Vitamins. They're British.
Vitamins. Yeah, they're fucking surly by like the third meal. Like, this is just getting ridiculous. I've had a piece of toast and half a glass of milk today. You know, my blood sugar and like all that.
Blood sugar. Oh my god! Man, people are always talking about how they need 4,000, 6,000 calories a day because they're about to fall off a blood sugar cliff. And it's like, no, bitch, you're fine. You've got enough sugar in your veins to last for the rest of the month.
Yeah,
Anyway.
if I cut you, you'd bleed slowly. That's how.
It's all sticky.
It's a little
It
stick-
comes
no.
out coagulated.
Your
If you
piss
ever got
smells
murdered,
good.
the serial killer would be there. Like, I really underestimated how long this cleanup would take. Like, it's a 2-day job. And then the skinny person, when they have the fat person's meal.
If you got murdered by a
their
cannibal, that
response-
person would be diabetic.
The knife will come out.
I'm sorry, Taylor, you were saying.
being sucked in. But the skinny person usually is more polite about like not making a scene in front of the fat person, because I've seen it happen with the fat person as they're both eating will be like, "How do you eat this? It's just not fair. Like, what are you thinking? You got no vitamins, no minerals." Or like all that shit. Ben, the skinny person will usually be like, that's just kind of the way I eat, haha. But in the interview afterward, the skinny people will be like, "It's absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. I can't imagine how anyone could eat like that ever. That's more than I eat in a week in one meal, and she eats that every meal. Like, and so by meal, and they have, and the British good-looking guy who hosts it, masquerading around with a clipboard as a scientist is like, "Now, Susan, we do need you to eat as much as you can of Betsy's meal." He's like, "I just can't. It's too much." Susan, you signed up for this study, and we need to do this. And so, by meal 3 in the day, it's pretty much 100%. It's like 100% that by the third meal of the day, the skinny person doesn't touch a thing on there because they can't, and the fat person once again cleans that plate, and then they have to sit there and just look at the meal that they eat and not be able to eat it. So it's a very funny show. I recommend it. Super Size, Super Skinny on YouTube. They're all on YouTube.
I'm gonna check that out now. That sounds pretty good. I think the thing that I do is like every meal is not like gross and huge. Like some days I won't eat until like the end of the day. Like a couple days ago, Sunday, I pressure washed the outside of my house, and I started at like 11 a.m. and I didn't stop until 6 p.m. Just 7 hours of just working. And I know like it's a pressure washer. It doesn't sound like a lot of work, but like when I was done, I was just exhausted from going, and I hadn't eaten anything.
Those will get your forearms because they're always pushing and you're having to direct it, right?
Yeah, really sore on my really sore on my forearms. But it's really satisfying to use a pressure washer to clean bricks and stuff and concrete pathways. There's even a subreddit I think called like pressure washer porn or something where people slowly like clean stuff. And so I was enjoying myself big time. So like I just didn't stop all day. And my pressure washer has this siphon hose, so you can add something into the mix, right? So you can just put that siphon hose into normally something like CLR or soap. I use poison. In mine because there's lots of spiders on the dark side of my house. They had like made cobwebs all over the windows, and there were these stink bugs living up in the like the vinyl that's under the eaves or whatever. 3,200 psi of 6-month prevention poison, just blasting them. Everything's falling down dead around me. It was excellent, and it didn't bother me at all. Like no blisters or anything. I put my hat on.
Prior to
In the
that, your
woods,
tooth was
away,
fine,
but
My tooth fell out today, but
but other than that, everything's
they
cool.
all started
Yeah.
coming out. But
You know the whole.
Oh! They just came right out. Stop pulling your teeth out, Charlie.
My doctor told me to not walk quite as much. And that's bumming me out. We're talking about eating and sort of weight loss and stuff. And I was bumping up my activity level, but to press on the bone hurt, like it was painful. And I have some theories. I think that as all the muscles and tendons, that pain is going away. And the last pain standing is the bone. Maybe I'm just more aware of it. But he was like, that means too much impact. And I was like, oh, I've actually not done very much impact. I'm very careful about it. He's like, nah, you got to rephrase it. When we're talking about a leg, even just standing still on it is impact. Okay. So he wants me to spend less time on my feet. I had been going out to the stable. I've been shooting some videos, actually, like getting the shop up and running and such. And that's on hold for a bit. Surgery on Monday.
How long do they think?
Oh, nice.
I
Get
don't
the
think
pins
it's very
taken
long.
out.
He didn't. Yes, and he didn't say, but the implication I got from it was like 10 days ish or something. But
Oh, it's not bad.
no, it's
This
not
is
like,
all, like this is like think about when did this happen? 2 months ago? 8 weeks ago?
August 15th,
And-
about 10 weeks ago.
And like even now, like based on how you were describing it initially, like you were expecting it to be
3 months.
50 times worse than what it's been so far.
Yeah, I don't want this all to be leg talk. Some people don't like it, but it is going really well. I'm way ahead of schedule in terms of like how quickly I'm healing, and like the trajectory for how well I heal. Like, you know, the end state is really, really good, and it's just gonna be okay. Like I've done a good job on
That's
this.
good.
Yeah,
It'd be cool to get those pins, and like I said, make sure you keep those as a souvenir. And I'm hoping that I lose another tooth and I can make earrings out of these.
It's good thinking.
If you start losing teeth too quick, we'll know there's a codeine thing going on. You know?
Does codeine do that?
Yeah, I need a few more taken out.
I identify as someone with no wisdom teeth. So I need,
My screws are, I'm
And
told
lots
they're
of codeine.
big. Like, he's like, you got to get them. Everyone's telling me you have to keep them. And my physical therapist, of course, they deal with a lot of people, have stories of what people do. Like one person, they had a wooden door and they just hammered them into the wood. So they were like impressioned in there. And now they're just like a reminder, like, oh yeah, those screws were once holding my leg together. I don't know what I'll do with mine.
Paramotor.
Paramotor, that's not a bad idea. I was actually thinking of a woodworking project. Like at some point, I'll use the screws that held me together to hold together like an end table or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think I will do a thing with them at some point. They'll be used special. I don't know what.
I've been watching those guys, those YouTube videos of guys forging knives in various ways, and they're really smart. You can click the link in the bottom and you can go purchase one of those knives. And I'm this close to I was gonna buy the knife, but like he was sold out. I was like, wow, he's really got a smart thing. It was cable forging. So he took a large segment of cable, like 1.5 in diameter, 2 inches in diameter cable, and he hammered that out into a knife. And then when he etches the blade at the end, you can see that pattern of the cable. And he made a wonderful handle for it and everything. And I go to his website and I'm like, yeah, I want one of those fucking cable knives. And they're $250, something like that. But they're all sold out. Like he's killing it.
Are you familiar with Rainfall Projects?
I probably am. I just don't know him by name.
He's not big. He has like 30,000 subs. He has a farm, but he just does projects. You know, he's like, hey, this is my barn. I need to put, the big sliding barn doors. I'm sure you've seen them.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to put, but everything he does is so first class. His videos are very good. He does a lot of voiceover work on them. And he seems to learn new skills. No, better yet, he seems to master new skills the first time. And everything he does is like the hard way. Like, the handles that, you would use to open and close the barn doors.
Yes.
He's like, so I'm going to give a metal forging, blacksmithing a go. And sure enough, like he takes the thing, he turns into the square stock, and then he twists it, and they're both matching, and they're like everything about it is perfect. He's making a deck for his barn, right? Because what barn doesn't have a big deck for parties and stuff? And he wants to do a railing that's not so visually like obstructing, so he runs cables back and forth. Anyway, he buys a CNC machine to build the brackets. And I'm watching this guy do like 3D CAD design to create these brackets that like route the cable. And it's like, I feel like this would take a semester in college to learn. Why is it your first effort is so perfect? You're like, he's very
cheating.
Impressive to me. And
He's a good video maker and he's cheating.
I don't think so. And he's young to be so skilled. Like I want to call him like 27 or something. So it's not like he's gathered a lifetime of CNC and blacksmithing and woodworking and metalworking. Like he's just I feel like I'd like the dude. And something about him is he's unexcited about everything he does, which normally I wouldn't think is a positive, but it works for him. He's just like, yeah, so then I was kind of scratching my head on how to do this. So here's me driving out, 4 hours away, buying a $12,000 CNC machine because it seemed like the right, like how does this happen? He blows me away. He's very impressive. Rainfall Projects. I think you might like him.
Those
That does
CNC
sound
machines
cool.
have been getting more and more affordable the last few years. I knew a guy, he had $1 million CNC machine that he was making gun parts out of.
What does CNC mean?
Computer.
It's a computer
something.
controlled. It's a computer controlled like three-dimensional milling machine, basically, like the one
So you
he
like
had.
program it, and then it'll like just turn a piece of metal into whatever shape you wanted it
This
to be.
particular
much.
one had a plasma cutter that pointed down. You familiar with a plasma cutter? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you would put a sheet of metal in there, and it would cut out the parts.
Ah,
But
okay.
there seemed to be more to it. Like he was extracting it into 3D and stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
anyway.
lots of heads and attachment tools that you could put on those things. The guy that I was talking about, it was $1 million machine, and it was big and impressive. It made gun parts, but it was that thing where like the piece is here, and it would go all the way around it in 3 dimensions, like cutting chunks of it out, and by the end you had like a 3-dimensional hollow piece of a gun, and he was like, yeah, I paid $1 million last year. They're $800,000 now. Next year they'll be $650,000, and it was just like he was bemoaning the fact that these things were getting cheaper and cheaper because the competition were getting them now, and he used to be the big dog who could afford the thing.
That makes sense. Yeah, and they make them for wood too, but now they're getting really cheap. You can buy them for like $450, but they suck. So it's like many tools where you're like, all right, this one's so bad it doesn't even do the thing it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I have
Like
to go.
those wrenches they give you in IKEA sets,
Yeah.
where you're like, this doesn't even do it. Like,
Yeah, like
the one wrench you gave me doesn't fit the piece.
yeah. So you have to go a little higher up, even if you're a hobbyist from the cheapest level. But anyway, well, I'm glad your tooth is okay.
Yeah, that was no big
Yeah.
deal at all. Like I said, I almost want to get another one taken out just for the fun of it. That was so interesting.
I said, well, I mean, that's only a few years away if you continue this,
Right?
this pattern, right?
I've got that. So I said I have a surgery Monday. I'm gonna have propofol on Monday. It is Tuesday as we do this, and I'm already like 6 days from my propofol. It's gonna be good. I'm a big fan.
If I were to drop something on this foot, would that mean, hypothetically, would that mean more?
yeah,
It would not. Okay, I just
would
wanted
not.
to check.
like
Yeah,
an
that's-
addict or something. And I had this is a long time ago. Like, I think it was my ACL surgery, and I'm going in there, and they give you propofol before they give you all the other anesthesia, just so the patient's not like nervous and jittery and scared and just like being a problem. And I'm like, nurse, I'm a little nervous already. I'm
You're
kind
in the
of
waiting room reading a magazine. Hey, you go ahead and top me off right here.
yeah, I got the
I
nerves
already found the
already.
vein. I already found the vein.
Yeah, I found the vein.
Did you bring this rubber band from home? Yep, I'm ready to roll. Just shoot me up. I
Yeah.
got my own alcohol pad. Let's just go.
Yeah, they give out these syringes at the methadone clinic. But yeah, I am already like, it's just going to be some propofol involved in this thing. It's going to be a good day. And the surgeon, there might even, I don't know. It's such a small thing. They're just unscrewing 2 screws. There'll be 2 small incisions. I don't know like how minimal it is.
It's not too
Yeah.
small for your propofol. And
Really?
what you should say, I'm very religious, and it's Devil's Night, because I just checked. Tuesday's the night before Halloween. Like a lot of religious people get freaked out, like really religious people dislike that purportedly, and say that you're very stressed about it, and that you think Satan is trying to poison you a bit right now, and so you need all the stress relief you can get. And if she would also hold your hand and pray right before the procedure, you'd appreciate that as well. So,
But,
and then maybe
but
she
hold that
will.
bullshit till after the propofol because it's annoying.
Yeah. I want you to, but give me the propofol and then pray me to sleep. Just,
Yeah,
so you drove yourself home, Kyle, after that?
Yeah,
Or wait,
yeah.
you only had a numb face, right?
Yeah, I just had the numb face, and it got number as I was driving home. Like it still hadn't to the point where like I was numb from the top of my head to like my Adam's apple on the right side of my head. It was all numb, and to the point where it was just fucking numb. I really like my dentist because like you go into the room I was in was dark. The shades were drawn, and there was a TV like not on the ceiling but up high and tilted down with like garbage fucking TV playing, like some sort of like, I don't know, it was like a black love triangle where the guy was in the Navy and he'd gotten the girl pregnant. And it doesn't matter, but there's TV playing and everything. I dug it, and the dentist assistant was thick as fucking oatmeal. Like, I don't know what I really needed. She was so thick that I really needed to see her without that smock on to tell if she was obese or just incredibly shapely, because it seemed like she was short, but she had massive tits, a huge ass, but I couldn't tell what the midsection was like. I couldn't tell if she was if she was fat or if she was just incredibly shapely like a goddamn cartoon character, but I was into it. I was pretty excited even in my my medicated state.
You might have asked her and you don't remember.
I may have. I could have fucked her and I don't remember. I was pretty out of it at that time. It was that was a good experience.
Why does my dick smell like bubblegum toothpaste? Yeah, like I've been going, like, I was like to the point of you driving home afterward by yourself. Like, obviously you're not supposed to do that on pills and whatnot. I've gone to the eye doctor regularly since I was like 5 or 6, so I should know the dealio by now. But and I've gone by myself every time since I've been old enough to drive, 16, and every time I'm always like surprised again when they dilate my eyes. And you guys have had that done where they dilate my eyes and I go get back in my car and I start the car and I'm just like, ho ho ho, let's see, because every time they're always like, all right, and Taylor, you do have a ride. And I'm like, yeah, I drove here. And so,
it's sitting in the parking lot.
And the worst is when, because all it does is make your pupils enormous. And so, like, if it's a cloudy day, it's not too bad. But this last time, it was over the summer, and it was a bright summer day. And so, like, as soon as I walked out, like, I was walking through the Costco parking lot, because I just went to the Costco eye doctor, just like looking like this. Just 100% like closed, because I was like, God, there's still so much light getting in. Like, where did I park?
Like an
owl. It was like an owl basically, and it's always just white knuckling it the whole way back. Like, all right, I can see that. It's a giant green orb with fuzzy areas in the sky. That means I'm good to go. Oh, yellow. All right, red. Stop. Like, you kind of get it like that. But if someone told me, like, hey, there's a murderer in that car. What's his license plate? It's like, I can't even tell you, like, what model it is, bud. Like, it's
not just seeing shapes. I envy Kyle's relationship with doctors. Like, every time I hear, like, hey, man, I need you to, like, hook me up with the World War II bottle and a shot in my ass because I got to be go. My doctors don't do that. He goes to the dentist and he gets some low-key, like, fix. Okay, I had a physical, right? And this is February, so it's 2 months before the weight loss started. And she's like, well, your levels are much better, like cholesterol, triglycerides, all that stuff has really improved since your previous physical. But, and I was like, I'm trying to lose weight. Like, wouldn't Adderall help me lose weight, increase metabolism, lower appetite? And she's like, yeah, it would. I'm like, yeah, so let's get that cooking. No. She's like, Adderall is for something different. It's not a weight loss drug. And I'm like, well, sometimes I can't pay attention. And she's like, whatever. Like it was just shot down like I'm an ugly high school kid. I don't have Kyle's.
When she's like, what makes you think that you have ADD? You should be like, God, my foot hurts.
Yeah, right? Kyle, I love Kyle 15 seconds delayed on codeine.
You need a new doctor, man.
Sir, we were just talking about ADD. Were we? No, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like me at all. Do you think I have ADD? Anyway, back to the foot.
Maybe I do. I don't know. Jackie really likes our family doctor.
Well, she can keep going.
Yeah, right? I don't know. I just haven't found a new doctor. Maybe I should.
Yeah, I don't put a lot of. I was going to go to a different doctor the other day. I needed to go and get some stuff, and I got some new stuff. And when I asked him for it, he just gave it to me. But I was going to go to a different doctor because mine is pretty far away. I have to drive across my county and into another county, and it's not even a straight road. I have to go down the interstate and then on a highway, and it's a 30-minute drive to my doctor. And I was like, well, I bet I can find a doctor 20 minutes away or something. And I called and I was like, yeah. Well, I mean, 10 minutes each way, and it'd be a better area. I could get there's better food on the way back from that place, which is my main concern in life all the time. And I call them and they're like, yeah, we've got a 3-month waiting period on new patients. And I was like, why didn't you just tell me that first? Why did you even ask me what I was calling for? Like why didn't you immediately say, we're not really actually open to patients? Like, what the fuck? So I'll just continue driving to my doctor, who's fucking awesome, and you know, is a cool, compassionate dude who'll give you whatever you need.
On the other hand, my orthopedic surgeon.
Thanks for calling Pizza Hut. What do you want? Oh, I'll have a large pepperoni and 2-liter Diet Pepsi. All right. Do you want that in early February? We could do early February or maybe a mid-March. Which one works better?
My orthopedic surgeon's the man. Like that guy, I love. He did. I came in with a bad knee. I hurt my knee paramotoring last winter or something, and he just like cortisone shots me right in the office, hooks me up. It got better. He predicted, like, oh yeah, it's going to get better for like 4 days, and it's going to get a little worse, and it'll get completely better. And it did. And you know, he fixed my ACL. That knee is perfect now. He's been guiding me through the rehab on this ankle, and that thing is doing great. Orthopedic surgeon is the man. I asked for PRP, right? And PRP is like some sort of related stem cell thing where they like take your blood out and then take just the parts you need for healing and then put it back in your ankle. And I asked about it, and the physician's assistant was there too. And he's like, yeah, I love PRP. I did my master's thesis on that. We could hook you up with that during the surgery. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. You know, because Lozon told me to do it. And he lives in a world of people who get injured and heal.
Did you write any papers on propofol?
Yeah. So anyway, my orthopedic surgeon, and like Kyle's doctor, which is what brought it to my attention, there's a big waiting list. So I feel like I'm in a not that exclusive club where I can call and get on the list. You know?
Yeah.
Like, are you an existing customer? Yeah. I'm a repeat customer to my orthopedic surgeon. You know? Yeah, so they hooked me up.
You know what I don't like?
3 stamps away from a free knee.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the only thing I don't like about doctors, and it's really funny because there was an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where this exact same thing happened. I don't like when you call the receptionist and she asks you what you're coming in for. What if you're coming in for something very embarrassing? Or, you know, you've got doctor-patient confidentiality, but I don't think I've got doctor-receptionist confidentiality. On Curb Your Enthusiasm, he's like, I have an itchy asshole. I have an itchy asshole. That's what I'm coming in for. and he even went like he didn't want to tell him. So he's like, I have a gerbil up my ass. That's what it is. I have a gerbil up my ass. So the receptionist is going and telling people that he's got a gerbil up his ass because there's no confidentiality there. So, like, you know, you call and like, what if I had an STD, for example? I don't. I'll spick and span down there. But let's say that I had some sort of STD and I call and I want my doctor to look into this, like herpes or whatever. And what do I say when she asks? Even when it's like a cough or strep throat, I want to be like, none of your fucking business. How about I talk to the doctor about this, like every single time? And then
the doctor's fucking busy. Yeah, he's got shit to do.
I'll tell him when I get there, like as if he's gonna get prepared. It's not, and not true. Once have I gone in and he's like, oh, I got that thing for the thing you asked for. Like, he's never like ready with whatever it is. It's not. He gets there and he's like, so what you in for? Like, what was she asking me what I was coming in for if she wasn't even going to tell you? I think she's like
just nosy.
You know what I don't like? Yeah. When they ask me my medical history. So at this point, like my medical history, like they like list all your prior operations. It's like, no, I don't like writing that much, and that's a fucking book at this stage.
Actually, one of my operations was on this hand, so I really don't want to write all that up.
I don't remember which one it was. As the other hand,
Stephen King. If someone asked Stephen King, like, "Hey, can you write a list real quick of every book you've ever written?" He's like, "Oh, no, I don't remember. I'm going to give you the hits, and then you can make do." Like,
oh my god, sometimes I write nothing applicable or whatever. Like, you know, I'm in here for strep throat. Don't fucking ask me about the 19 operations I've had at one point or another. I do cool shit.
And I'm not good at it.
I never thought about it before, but I do think you're right that those receptionists are just being nosy because, like every responsible adult, you get semi-regularly tested for whatever you know, STDs and such. And so I remember like calling the clinic in college at the hospital and being like, yeah, I want to set up an appointment, come in. And they're like, oh, what for? It's like, well, I don't see how that's anyone's business but mine, you know? Like, that's what you want to say, but no, you can't. You have to go, and what do you think you have? It's like, I don't think I have anything. You know, insinuating bitch.
Yeah.
I'm just checking. Like,
it's like that time when I had like those blisters on my hands and feet, and we couldn't diagnose what it was, and I was like, I don't know what I'm coming in for. That's it was I still don't remember. I figured it out. Even the doctor didn't know.
That sounds serious.
Yeah, it was serious. It was like all the skin fell off my hands and the soles of my feet, and I had to I had my hands in like gloves with olive oil in them, and the cure ended up being like a month and a half of prednisone, which is a steroid, and this $250 hand cream they had to rub on 3 times a day. It was like $250 a tube. It was absurd. I don't remember exactly what it was. I get cold sores. Cold sores, which is like herpes type, whatever the low grade herpes is.
I get those.
It was that had like combined with something else, and it was presenting on my hands and feet in some awful way, where like the skin was just peeling off, and it was horrible. And so I just remember calling in and then being like, "What are you coming in for?" And just being like, "I'm not really sure." Like, I don't know what this is, and they're
help me. Yes.
Yeah, it was so embarrassing. It was super embarrassing because you know, I pay for things and I try to like hand them the card, like I didn't want anybody to see it because it looked like a leper, like a fucking leper. I've got pictures somewhere on a hard drive that like I figured I'd show people eventually, but at the time it looked like there was something very wrong with me, and I might never recover because like a month went by, 2 months went by, like my doctor was stumped. Like my regular doctor who hooks me up with stuff, like and I normally use like.
Now who needs a new doctor, hotshot?
Yeah. He had this. He
at least mine went to medical school.
He went to medical school. He sent me
you
to,
got what's called commonly old hands. Now the rest of the body aging pretty good. They're looking to be 62, 63 already.
They were bad, man. But he sent me to a dermatologist, and then I remember like I was on like WebMD or something like that, or using Google. I think I used Google image search until I searching like blisters on hands and feet, and I scrolled through 1,000 pages of disgusting images until I was like, that's it. That's exactly what I have. And then I like backtracked, went to that page, and I figured it out that way. And I was like, I like called or emailed my doctor, maybe both.
Did go back to an obituary?
God, no. I was like, could it be this thing? And she's like, oh, yes, perhaps it is this thing. Very good. I will double your prednisone. I will call it in, and call in a cream for you, a cream, and it all worked out. But I diagnosed my own thing. Like she was fucking stumped. I remember thinking like this is bullshit. I think I've spent like $500 or $600 on this doctor and visits alone, and like she didn't figure shit out. Yeah. Let me write my own prescription. You cunt.
I was frustrated in the other direction with the shingles thing recently, like 6 months ago or whenever I had it, where like I went in and it was, a couple $100, whatever. And within 2 seconds, she's like, oh, yeah, you got a rash there. And it's just right here on your right side, only on the upper body. And she asked me, she's like, what do you think it is? I'm like, well, Google and everyone on the internet says it's shingles. She goes, that's right. All right, get that. See you later. And it was like, all right, that was not worth a few $100.
I had dermatitis. I got dermatitis from a hot tub, and it's like this rash sort of under your armpit area, and it's itchy and it burns a little bit. And I went and I was like, hey, I have dermatitis. And he's like, you sure? I'm like, yep, that's dermatitis. Well, here you go. And I was just like, what do you people actually do? Because like it seems like WebMD and a decently average intelligence fellow can work all this out without the need of all those medical degrees and stuff. If I need something cut off or injected, I'll come see you. But otherwise, just give me that prescription pad.
You know what I don't like? When doctors get mad because you Googled too. You're like, all right, here I am. I looked into this, and this is where I hit Google, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you Googled, did you? Like, yeah, I don't know. Like that's how I handle every other problem in my life. I Googled it. And it's like
there's free information out there. I thought I'd take a look.
I think that's the sign of an insecure doctor when they're not comfortable with you doing a bit of Googling. If they were completely secure in their medical knowledge, because I bet what they're doing, when they leave the room with their clipboard, they're going in there Googling. They're going in there fucking Googling, trying to figure out what's
I bet,
wrong.
like,
I had a
the
doctor.
competent doctors are going to be like, take this. And you're like, I don't know if that's right. I Googled it myself. They're like, all right, well, then don't. Then fucking don't take it. I got shit to do. Like,
I had a doctor. I know she Googled it because she would come back with printouts on like what I had, and it's like, all right, like, it wasn't bad. She's like, all right, you have whatever, I don't know what it would be, strep throat or something, and she'd have like printouts and stuff. Probably not strep throat, but and it was like, yeah, I'm 90% sure she went back there and Googled my symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah, I like when the doctor has like opinions about things, like, hey, I want something for anxiety. What about this? And he says, oh, well, that can do this, this, and this. I usually prescribe people this thing over here because A, B, C, D, E.
They take me to lunch.
What?
The pharma hotties are better.
Well, because the pharma sends a rep, and he provides us with. Well, I can't really do that as much anymore, but yeah, because they bring us Qdoba twice a month.
That'd be cool.
So that dictates your antidepressant choice or your pain relief choice.
That's possible,
the dermatitis thing you were saying, Kyle. I forgot about this. I guess we were all like 17 or so, and it was on my hockey team, and we'd finished up a game, and it was like a Friday night, so nobody had school or anything. And so I was like, oh, let's go back to my house, because we had a pool and a hot tub, and it was a fun place to hang out. So the whole team came over, and the hot tub was pretty big. You could have like 8 people in there or something. And so 8 people got in and got out, of course. Night goes on.
They're not still there.
Not still there. The next practice, like Monday or Tuesday, like 7 people call out, being like, I've got this horrible rash all over me. That's why I wasn't at school. Like, I can't come in. I can't do practice. It's painful. Because, like, Kyle, dermatitis, if you get it bad, like, it's painful. It's uncomfortable. It's like, it's like itchy, boily, very, very uncomfortable. And everybody's like, what the hell? Like, how did this happen? How could everybody, like, 7 out of, the 10 people there now have this disease where we're all missing practice and games? And one of our defensemen, fucking Matt, this asshole, was like, guys, like I have this stuff on my knees and my feet, and I didn't think it was that big a deal, but I did get in the hot tub with you. And it was like, dude, are you fucking shitting me, Matt? Like, you got in the hot tub with us with your fucking diseased legs, your leprosy, and now everybody else on the team has your shit. And so, like, we lost a game badly at one point because everyone had dermatitis because of this asshole. This one ass. Oh, it was so disgusting.
And that was the end of your pro career.
Gross.
I don't know who poisoned. I don't know who poisoned my hot tub. I think it can't happen. It's called like hot tub rash or something. Like that's like the generic word for it or whatever. But I remember
hot tub folliculitis.
Folliculitis. That's what it is. Yeah. And I remember it wasn't a big deal to get it like treated. I don't remember what the treatment was. It may have been prednisone or something. But I remember it cleared right up. Like it was just one of those things where like the medicine.
Just disgusting.
Mine was just a red rash. It wasn't gross or anything, but I bet it would have gotten to some, maybe it gets gross.
Yeah.
The 2 more days until the DLC for Warhammer drops. I've been watching the guys who have early access playing the Chaos Warriors. Yeah.
Those guys, they were my favorite faction in the first one, because basically the first one has 2 really cool factions like that. One of them is called the Beastmen. And the Beastmen are also like warrior, like Minotaur kind of creatures, but they have like no armor. They're just all about speed, getting up in there, attacking fast, huge attacks. And then there's the Warriors of Chaos, which are also beasts, but they're slow and they're armored to the fucking gills. And so I like those ones more. They're kind of cooler, I think.
There's a bunch of the Vampire Lords with the black
the Vampire
coach.
Lords. Those are kind of hard to play sometimes because they have like no range. But yeah, that black coach unit is fucking ridiculously good if you micro it a lot. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We should play some soon, tonight even.
Anytime.
If your eye isn't closing of numbness or anything.
No, I'll take one more of those pills and that'll get me going and I'm down to play for sure. I've really been enjoying that game. I like watching the videos of it a lot. The YouTubers who make the videos are very good, chipper guys who are like, I don't know, like I feel like maybe
beat.
Yeah, the COD guys can be kind of poisonous, right? Like it's not even about the game anymore. There's this whole they're worried about each other and like who's each other's girlfriends, and there's so much drama. Over there, it's the opposite. Like I'm watching Heir of Carthage. I'm watching his videos, and he's showing you a video where he beats another YouTuber named Turin, and he's like, I think you all know that Turin's a much better player than I am. It's just this build is very good for the Lizardmen. And I was like, you'd never get that. If Wings of Redemption is shitting on Optic Hex, and this is why my way is better, and why they are all shit. Like, you get the complete opposite. Like, they seem like nice, cool guys. And they're really smart because it's not the kind of game that you just dumb your way through just clicking buttons. It's not a button mashing kind of game. There's a lot of math involved. There's a lot of it's rock, paper, scissors, like many of those games are, but it's rock,
very
paper,
complex.
scissors, swords, shields, hammers, and it's like
Magic.
Oh yeah, this matches up well against this, especially when I cast this spell and I micro this in this way, and this causes terror, and that this is going to cause their armor to drop to this amount, and they're doing math on the fly, and it's really cool. I enjoy the game, and the cinematics are really nice. Like
It is.
you send in a gigantic dinosaur, and he doesn't just like thrash and make things fall over. He has like unique attacks where he'll come in and bite a soldier up on the head and flip him up in the air and then catch him and garble him down and just eat him alive. And it's fun to zoom all the way in and watch the show sometimes. But then, it's also imperative that you're constantly microing shit and sending this there and this over here and moving stuff around. So I didn't think I would like it whenever we were in Colorado. And I was watching you play the first one. I didn't find it too interesting, but now that I've played it, I really dig it. I like it a lot.
Are you keeping up with Taylor better yet, or not yet?
I think so.
Yeah, Kyle had a good win just last time we played, where well, I mean, I guess we can't really describe the battle to any because it wouldn't make sense.
It was dawn.
It was dawn. My men were exhausted. We'd been marching all night, the lizard men. And I wildly underestimated how Kyle and I's armies clashed, and Kyle more intelligently kept his force more solid in one area on the lower part of the battlefield, and then there was an elevated part, and I thought, I can run 4 units around, flank him, and this will be in the fucking bag. Like, I'll tear right through his catapults back there, like he won't be ready for it. I can hold out that line, and like 3/4 of the way through their trek to do the flanking, I'm like, this is taking so much longer than I thought it would, and he's already chiseling my guys down. Like, there's no way. And what ended up happening is like my guys were breaking and weak by the time they got there, and so he just went and slaughtered the weak units that were meant to come around the flank. But yeah, I'm glad you're liking it. It is a really fun game. You can tell, like every one of these games, Kyle's already very good.
Yeah, it's I watched hours worth of videos and I figured out how to play the game. It's certainly not me solving the Rubik's Cube on my own or anything, but once you know what the dealio is, it's there's just so many units, and there's multiple. Like you were at first, you were like, there's only 4 factions, but I was like, shit, I'm so glad there's only 4 factions, because if there were a dozen, I'd have so much more information to keep up with. Like, it's hard enough to keep up with. Like, each faction has 20 or 30 different units, and you have like a budget for assembling your army, and so you have to be like, I'd like 3 archers, but I can't afford 3 archers, so 2 archers and 1 cavalry guy. And like, you have this, each player has the same amount of money to spend on an army, and you have to sort of be thinking ahead of like, what kind of army might he use, because I need to counterbalance against that. Like, if he's the high elves, he can bring
Kyle
lots of dragons.
Taylor's playing the lizard men, so he'll probably have some dinosaurs, some dinosaur cavalry or something. So I got to bring a lot of spears, But then he has to think, well, but does he think that I think that he's going to bring a lot of large? Because that happened in our battles too, where I was like one of our first ones where you were playing against me, and I was like, last time I played lizard men against Kyle, I brought a lot of dope ass creatures that and so now I bet he's going to think that I do that again, and he's going to bring a bunch of spears. And so I brought barely any creatures and just brought a ton of shielded warriors, because they can block arrows and slice right through spearmen. Like, it really is. It's the rock, paper, scissors, magic, and so many other facets of it. It's a really fun game.
Yeah, I'm
loving it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I'll get on and play a little bit if you want to. I'm just
All
gonna grab a snack. My
Your tummy's
belly's
rumbling.
starting to rumble a little bit. Yeah.
Guys, want to call it?
Let's do it. PKN episode 166.